Hey, what's up guys? Footy Manager TV here, and today I've got another FIFA 13 career mode shortlist, and this one's going to be focused on 16-year-olds. They're actually hard to find in the game because EA, they limits what you can search for in the age limit. You can only search minimum 17 years old, so it makes it really hard to find these 16-year-olds. But I suppose the reason they do that for is because you can't actually sign them in the first season, at least until January anyway. If you see here, for basically every single 16-year-old, it says the player has recently joined the club, and obviously you can't buy them because of that reason. So again, yeah, still got a bit of a sore throat and that, so sorry if I like cough or something during the video, but I wanted to do it fully live and just go through like that and make the video fairly quickly. But anyway, the first guy here, who's probably the best one, at least by overall, Victor Andrade from Santos. He's basically the next Neymar. Unfortunately, he doesn't have good skills. He's only got 3-star skills, as you see there, but can play out wide as long with a striking position or centre forward. But he's a good dribbler. That increases to about 90, and obviously he's going to have great pace. Really, that's going to be high in the 90s as well. And he'll be a very good finisher as well. So if you have the money for him, he's definitely a good signing, as you can see. Melbourne Victory, my club, ranked 9th, and that's actually worse than it actually looks like because there's only 10 teams in the league. But anyway, moving on to the next player. Yeah, Victor Andrade. He has 85 potential, so can grow to a very solid player. And you know, if you play the player a lot more than the average, he can increase from that. And if he gets good performances as well, that's actually an official statement from EA. If you play it, the potential is basically what the player is predicted to reach if you give them average playing time and they get average ratings. But if they get more than that, they can increase on that potential. But now, onto our next player. Fontas, he's from Athens. And actually, like I said, how to find these players, you have to actually, the only thing you can search for is their team. Don't search for their name. You can't find them by their name. You can't find their age because the minimum is 17. Like I said, you have to search just their team, no other things, or you won't be able to find them. Just search by their team, and then just go to the bottom of the list, and they should be around there. Obviously, they would be in the lowest rated players in their team. It just depends which team it is, I guess. But anyway, this guy, he's a superstar actually in the game. His balance is 87. That reaches very good heights, and his potential is very good as well. I suppose it's okay potential, but it's 79 potential. That he can still increase into the 80s, but obviously he doesn't have good strength, but good balance. That sort of makes up for that. He's a solid player, but definitely not the best in the game. But here, I'm just here to show you the best 16-year-olds, and he is definitely one of those because of his good attributes. Because a lot of 16-year-olds, they have really a lot of attributes in the red, and he has basically attributes in the red that he doesn't really need, apart from volleys maybe. Penalties, obviously you can use other penalty takers, and heading accuracy. He's not going to really be in the positions for that. As you can see, he can play right mid, striker, or attacking mid, and he doesn't have any traits or anything like that right now. But then Grimaldo, he's 1.6 million, obviously in the dollars that I use, and his potential is 82, so a solid potential, especially if you play him a lot. He can increase on that and become one of the best left backs in the game with a bit of pace and also good passing ability. You would imagine from Barcelona, they would have good passing ability, and he does. But with him, he's only got 2-star weak foot and 2-star skills, especially be able to play left wing as well. You wouldn't want to play him there with those abilities. So, and next up, this guy is probably my favourite 16-year-old in the game, and probably the best, even better than Victor Andrade for a reason you're going to see in a second. And yeah, he's got flair and long shot taker, and he's got 4-star weak foot and 4-star skills. You just see it there how good he is. Unfortunately, he's a bit small, but those attributes right there, and the skill moves and the weak foot is just fantastic for someone of his age. And his potential is 82, so he can develop into like a mid-80s player. And yeah, he's a very good player with that. And yeah, if anyone was going to be the next Ronaldo in the game, he would be the next Ronaldo if you're looking for someone like that. And then, if you're looking for someone to be the next Ronaldinho, this guy as a 16-year-old is probably the closest you're going to get. Valentino Lazaro, as you can see, very solid attributes, and he's got a potential of 81. And I know potentials may be different, but this is on the winter update. On the general game without updates, it may be different, not sure. He's got the flair ability, and he's got the 4-star skills as well. Can play out wide on the left or in a centre mid position also, so he can be a very good player for you. Obviously, his technical abilities are obvious: dribbling, ball control, and curve. Those all increase into the high 80s. and he ends up having pretty decent pace as well, very close to 90 sprint speed. So he's a very good player. But now I had to add a goalkeeper in. I wanted to try and cover every single position. Some I couldn't get, but I had to get a goalkeeper in there. This guy is probably the best 16-year-old goalkeeper, Fabrice Ondoa. Naturally from Cameroon, but at Barcelona B right now. He's 16 years old, obviously, and 62 overall, and he's got an 80 potential, so that's very solid for a young goalkeeper. You know, goalkeepers, 16 is really, really young for a goalkeeper, and yeah, he's got solid attributes for a goalkeeper right there. And next up, you got Ryan Gould. He's worth only 700k, so you could get him fairly cheap. Another one with very good balance. As you can see, the difference between him and Fontas right there. The technical attributes are way, way different. Like Fontas, he's better technically, but obviously Gould has more time to improve, and he's probably more attacking, like more of a winger. If you go into his things right here, he's got 5-star weak foot right here, and he can play. He can play on the right, on the left, or centre forward as well. 5-star weak foot is very, very handy. And as the career goes on, his pace just keeps increasing, and he seems really fast. Like right now, his sprint speed isn't great, but his agility and acceleration, they go really high into the 80s, and sprint speed becomes decent as well, and his dribbling is insane as well. It gets close to around the 80s and that kind of thing, with his potential being 78. Obviously not amazing, but it is solid, and if you play him regularly, he can increase to be a decent player. And you got Adama right here, another player from Barcelona B. They have heaps of talent. They got heaps of other ones that are a bit older than 16 as well, and they grow very good. And you got Adama, obviously. Just checking out his potential. I have to check out my list. Yeah, his potential is 75, and he's 60 currently. Obviously, very good sprint speed. That increases into the 90s. Very good jumping. Balance, solid. Shot power, 70. Develops into the 80s. So he's very good with the shot. And he's really cheap right now, so you could get him pretty cheap maybe in January. And he can play striker also. 4-star skill moves, very good. Only 3-star weak foot, not bad, but yeah, his attributes nothing special. Obviously, shot power is the key one right there. You can buy him for pretty cheap, like I said, but I'm pretty sure you can't buy him. Actually, some of the players you can buy, some of them you can't. I guess it just depends on the player and the team. And also another one, I suppose he's not amazing because he doesn't have great pace, but he's really, really cheap. If you're like a lower league team, NPower League 2 team, I might sign him for my Wickham Wanderers career. But this guy's fantastic, and he has a potential of 73, not really, really high, but if you're a League 2 team, he'll be one of your better strikers, and if you play him throughout the career, he'll develop into the high 70s, if not the 80s, if you still have him by the time you get to the Premier League. He could be a good player, but the thing is, like right now, his sprint speed isn't amazing, but that develops into like the mid-80s, so he develops into a really solid player, so he does increase in his pace. It's kind of a bit weird. If that was a real-life situation, like players in real life, they don't really improve their pace. Like if you find a 16, like if your local team had a 16-year-old, or even a top team, Manchester City, they had a like in real life, they bring in a 16-year-old and he was okay pace. Say if 77 sprint speed was okay pace, in real life he wouldn't increase to be like an 88 sprint speed player in real life. Like he wouldn't suddenly become like a Walcott pace. So yeah, but that happens into the game. He comes pretty decent with pace, like mid 80s with all his physical attributes, at least in pace, in the pace terms. Yeah, like I said, 7-3 potential. You can pick up for really cheap. Again, another cheap player if you want targets for NPower League 2. Here's Malcolm Holberg, a 59 overall, only 325k to pick him up, really cheap, at least in dollars anyway. Yeah, he's a really good pickup. And yeah, what is it? Yeah, Holberg, I'm trying to check him on my list again. I got a big list of players, even more on the list here. He's got a potential of 73, so he hasn't got too much amazing attributes, but he does grow. And we'll check out if he has any. Yeah, he has nothing special, only 3-star weak foot and 2-star skills, but yeah, he can play defensive mid also, so it really just depends how he develops. But I wouldn't want a defensive mid with a low strength like that, but yeah, it's your choice, I guess. And next, we've got O Hara. This guy's a very versatile player. It was really, really hard to find a good centre-back, and that had decent pace as well. And he can play in the midfield as well. But he's got 66 sprint speed, very good strength. He's 58 overall, only 325k, really, really cheap. You could pick him up. Yeah, you can pick him up really cheap. And he's 74 potential, so he can grow into a very good player, especially if you play him very regularly. And I'll just go to check him out again. And you go here, you can play, look at all the positions he can play there, but he's got low attacking work rate, so that's ideal work rates for a centre-back. He'll stay back at all times, But if you need him to play in those other positions, in midfield, wide midfield or right back, that's a very good thing to have, to play very good in those positions. So he could be a very good pickup again for an NPower League 2 team. But next up, Brynn Morris, who's a really low overall, but he actually has good potential being 76. So that means he grows really, really high from his current potential, and he's got good pace. If you see, he's a centre mid right now, and he can play centre back also. I wanted to get another centre back, but obviously he's natural as a centre mid, but can play centre back, and his pace actually grows into the 80s as well, like his acceleration and sprint speed, or at least high in the 70s, and he becomes very good. He grows. He's probably one of the players that grows the most because he's got that 76 potential, but 53 overall, so that's a very big growth right there, or growth. And yeah, he's good passing and good defensively. So I suppose right now he looks like a poor player, but if you give him the game time, he does increase. You probably have to send him out on loan to an NPower League 2 team in the first season. But if you're game enough to play him in the first season with Middlesbrough, he develops into a very, very good player. Definitely gets to Premier League level eventually. That Jake Grealish, again, obviously at Aston Villa, you probably will look to loan him out. But he's a very, very classy player when he gets to his peak. If I check him out right here, he's got 84 potential, so that's very, very good. Again, having 87 balance, that's so high right there. And he's got very good technical attributes for a 64 rated player. And again, he's valued a bit more. He's currently set on loan with Aston Villa, so you're going to have to... it really matters. If you're Aston Villa, you have to send him out on loan. But if you're another team, yeah, I doubt they'd want to sell him. So, yeah, it's a bit interesting about him. And then Maximal Amaya, obviously got him on my Football Manager career with FC Schalke, fantastic player, and he's very good. He's got a potential of 83, and he's got 87 balance, 87 agility. With that, he just grows into a fantastic player. He's really good with the LT and the RT dribbling, and yeah, especially with ball control 73 and 73 dribbling, that just works hand in hand with the agility and balance. So he becomes into a fantastic player. And Marcos Lopes at Manchester City, again, another one of those attacking mids. He's a very good player with 81 or 83 potential, I should say. Again, really similar to Maya. I suppose he's just a little not as good as him. He's got 84 balance, 83 agility, and again, good with the ball control and dribbling. Let's check out any special abilities here. He doesn't, but he's got the 4-star skill moves, which could prove to be very handy. About Maya as well, again, he doesn't have the 4-star weak foot, or he has the 4-star weak foot, but not the 4-star skills. But Lopes, it really depends what kind of player you are. If you're more of a skiller, pick up Lopes. If you're more of a dribbler, not using the skills, like if you just use the LT and RT, probably Maya is the way to go. And then Santi Mina, again, Santi Mina, I should say. He's got 61 overall, and he's got 80 potential. So he's a very solid player. And he, again, another one who doesn't have amazing sprint speed, but he's someone who's going to be a better, taller striker. If you check him out right now, he's at 5'10". He's got 4-star weak foot. He has not by any means got amazing pace, but he's a very good finisher. That finishing goes into the high 80s, and one of the most clinical strikers in the future. Because in the future, I search who's the best players, and he's definitely one of those as the strikers when the other best strikers retire. And again, like I said, he does have that 80 potential, I should say, and yeah, develops very well. And Mark Stendera, he's from Germany, 61 overall, 16 years of age, of course, but unfortunately only 2-star weak foot or 2-star skill moves and 3-star weak foot, and he has the potential of 78. So that really 2-star skills moves puts me off, and I would imagine it will put off a lot of other people, but no doubt he will grow into a very solid player. His attributes will increase a lot, but unfortunately those skill moves might put off some people, even though he's very versatile, can play anywhere in attack pretty much. So yeah, he's a very good player. But next up from France, Anthony Martial, or I'm not sure how you pronounce it in French, or in France I should say, but if he was English, you would pronounce it as Marshall. But anyway, this guy, his pace develops crazy. His sprint speed is already 84. That develops into the 90s. He's only 59 overall right now, but he's got potential of 83. So he has the potential to increase so much more than he currently is. So he's a very good player. Of course, have the pace there. But he's got the 4-star weak foot, but no, really, only 2-star skill moves, which is not very good. But for me, I don't actually use skills. I use them occasionally, but this guy, you don't really need to worry about that. He's sort of like a Balotelli type. He has a very good strength in the future. That goes into the 80s. Sprint speed goes into the 90s. Very good shot power, reliable from the penalties as well, and develops into a good striker. So, again, this guy is the last player, I'm pretty sure, George Green. I got a couple other ones. yeah, that's it. George Green and Rusu right there. George Green, he's a very, very good passer of the ball right here. Short passing, 81. He's the only player in the game, only 16-year-old that has over 80 short passing. So if you want a very good passer, that's basically his game. As a deep line playmaker, pretty much, just have him in a really deep centre mid role, not like in attacking mid role, because yeah, he doesn't have the ability. He doesn't have like the strength or the balance or anything like that. He's just someone who can sit back, and he's got good strength as well. He could also become a very good defensive mid, I suppose, with that strength. Just someone who you really like to play in a deep centre mid position, not someone who will go forward a lot, because he'll get out muscled and that kind of thing, even though he's got good strength. So it's kind of a mixed bag right there. But yeah, he doesn't have the pace to advance. But again, he's a very good passer of the ball. Again, he's only got 2-star weak foot and 2-star skill moves, so you're going to make sure you're going to have to pass it on his right foot. But with the good passing, I suppose it won't matter too much. But again, Marco Rusu, I had to get a fullback in. It was really hard pickings. It was slim pickings for a good fullback, but this guy was the man right here. He's got, again, with George Green, he's got potential of 83, so that's very solid. He could, that short passing goes into the 90s, and he's probably the next Shovey. And yeah, he's a very good passer, or at least an English version. But Marco Rusu, he's not bad. He's got the 75 potential and 57 overall, so that still means he grows heaps. Starting at Cagliari, he actually... his agility is fairly good. As a fullback, your sprint speed doesn't matter too much. Agility, like over the first 5 or 10 meters, that's very important. Got good balance as well. That's very important. His tackling attributes are okay. He's got 64 sliding tackle and standing tackle. And we'll just see if he doesn't really have anything else. 3-star weak foot, that's acceptable for a fullback. You don't really need fantastic skill moves and that kind of thing for a fullback. But anyway, that's it for now. Leave your comments on different short lists I can do. Just leave your comments what you prefer to see. If you want to see like 5 years into the future, who's the best players, that kind of thing. And yeah, please, hopefully you appreciate this video. It took a bit of time to find the best potential and these 16-year-olds. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. I definitely want to put a lot of effort into these videos. And yeah, leave your comments of these players if you've used them before, how high they actually grow. Like I said, I develop into the future. It really depends on the game. There's a very big differential. It just really depends how much they get played throughout the career and their performances and their average ratings during the career. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Please leave a like, comments, and I'll see you guys next time.